gentlemen. Welcome to the Man-Woman Hour with Dr. Harmony and myself, Andre Paradis. We're bringing you guys some information. We're going to drip on you every other week. Information, the dance of relationship, I called it, the man and woman dance. Two different beasts, two different machines, two different brains, two different hormonal system, right? Two different sets of instinct, da 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 da. But and we're so opposite that often we collide, we get frustrated, right? We collapse. And so we're going to drop some stuff on you every other week. Come and join us. I think some really juicy stuff. Both of our mission is to help the world be a better place in producing healthy relationships. Dr. Harmony, say good morning.
Good morning and afternoon here on the East Coast. And gosh, we are both, I love Andre because as a man and as a woman, we are both dedicated to helping others create and discover and create healthy, loving, long-term, fulfilling relationships that work for both the man and the woman. It's not about happy wife, happy life. It's about happy spouse, happy house. Happy spouse, happy house. So that's where we're at. So thank you, everybody, to joining us. And Andre, aren't we live? Can you tell everybody about your channel?
We're live. Yeah, so we're live on Facebook, both yours and mine. We're actually working on a restream process where we want to go live on YouTube on both sides. So we're in the middle of working that out. So, stay tuned in. But on Facebook, will be automatic.
And can people post questions so that you can read them too? Or
if I go to Facebook, right now I'm looking. Well, let me see.
Really answer some of these women's and men's questions. I would love some juicy men's questions.
Let's see. So on Facebook, it's actually giving us.
I have people telling us we're on Facebook and YouTube, and that.
We are on Facebook. I don't. Let me see. This is such an adventure. Show more, show less. The video coupling message. I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know if they actually can ask questions at this point. I don't see where, even if I'm on Facebook. Typically, as a side, a chat thing, I don't see it. So just for the sake of not wasting anybody's time, because we're TikToking.
We tried again. And if you want to signal me, I can try and answer all my ladies out there, women listening. Just signal me your questions and we will get it live to Andre. So thank you. And we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's super. So it's just a new adventure. Like thinking it was going to be easy. So I've been working on this for a few days. I'm smart, and anyway, so we'll clean it up. So we want to talk this week. We call emotional intimacy and vulnerability, which is what people struggle in relationships a lot. This is the second topic that we were talking about. Both sexes struggle, but often in different ways, right? So let me just start, and you throw me your input. So for men, it's the pressure to appear strong, competent, and capable, right? Absolutely. And the difficulty naming and sharing deeper emotions, well, that goes into instinct of concealing, and we can talk about that too. Why don't we start? Pressure appearing strong, independent, and capable.
Well, and I think that we should talk about what the opposite is of the woman, so that we have this really stark contrast. A woman is afraid, being vulnerable and emotional is that, we're afraid of not being chosen, not being good enough, not being dismissed.
Right? Yep.
Right. And so we really crave that emotional closeness, being seen and being heard. I know my big complaint for decades with my husband was, I just want you to listen. I just want to feel heard. I want to be important, right?
Connected. That's the whole point, right? All of that's because it's connection for you. It's a safety for you. I get it. It's, an instinct again. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But we don't have that instinct. We have a different instinct. Our instinct actually is to take care of it, to be taken care of. Like part of the pressure to appear strong, incompetent, and capable is because we have this internal knowing that I don't really know anything. And I'm trying to be capable. I'm trying to be strong and big, except I don't know if I really can, right? So we have this question mark on our hearts. So we're always questioning our capability. Am I good enough? Do I measure up in the world? Can I compete with other men? Can I be successful? Can I be a good father, a good dad, a good husband? Like all of these things are instinctual for us. But until we produce them, we feel that we may not be capable. So anything that signals that I may not be good enough, right? Strong enough, kind of competent enough, capable, right? It's a thought that we have to delete from our minds because it will stop us dead in our tracks. Because men feel strong, competent, and capable later in life when they've actually built a business, built a life, built a family, right? Got a home. And so it's sort of 55 plus that men that judging them ourselves every day for everything that we do and what works and what doesn't work. It subsides some later on in life when you go, look, I guess I got a house and we did pretty good. I did good money, I provide for my family. And so that sort of like self-doubt, I call it, kind of gets alleviated. However, throw in a divorce or bankruptcy and right back to nothing. Right. So that's a man's kind of go-to default system. We talk about instinct, right? Am I capable? Am I strong enough? Am I competent?
Well, let me ask you a question about that, because I'm always intrigued with men. You know, from a woman's perspective, I love the confidence of a man. You know, my husband is very confident, very strong, very masculine. And to be honest, the more I age and the more longer term I'm in that relationship with them, 24 years, March. Whoop,
you win.
And I really depend on it. It's like, I just assume that he is confident, he is strong, that he has all the answers. So, you know, from a woman's perspective, how do you do that? Oh my God, that is just mind-blowing, because from my perspective, I'm like a wet noodle going, oh my God, everything's falling apart, right?
Right.
And unable to hold it together. The strength is so amazing to me. So what's going on with that? How do you
Well, again, if I take on a wife and responsibilities of that and children and a household and a lifestyle and right? Like, it's no longer about me. Right, so I'm on duty on purpose, right, and I'm going to take care of everybody. It's all on my back. So there's some serious responsibilities here that we take on. Wide awake. This is how we get married. That's what kicks the whole thing in. But with that, and the fact that I'm trying to be all the great things that we just talked about, except I don't know really if I can because I've never done it. This is why a lot of men feel like they have an imposter syndrome, because we're actually in front of you. We freaking fake it. We're faking it. Right. Inside of us, again, this is not me. This is the men, the men that we interviewed, and this is like psychology of men, right? We have this. I want everything. I want to be big, better. However, I have no idea what I'm doing here, and I hope nobody finds out. Right. Until 55 plus. So we put up the front, right? And a lot of it is not necessarily front, but it's like I have to show confidence, to be confident, to feel confident, to have people trust me. But it's literally like out of duty, because I do the responsibilities and I don't fully believe it. So I'm going to fake it. And so that's what I mean. Men say, I've been an imposter my whole life. I'm like, well, no, you're normal. You're normal. That's how we actually get to hold the frame, live on duty, right? We don't question it. We have to do it. So we're going to do it.
But with that I mean, that's just so tough. You have to compress your feelings. You have to compress your emotions. And I'm going somewhere with this because I really want women to get this. You have to really kind of, you know, we pick our little boys up and go, wipe those tears off, pat them on the booty, and send them right back into the playground, right? You know, and you know, little girls were like, oh, pobrecita, right? You know, right. And you know, it's this training of stuffingness. So then, I guess what you're really saying and trying to share, what I'm hearing, is that it's so difficult for you to be vulnerable because of this training, because of this not wanting to feel like an imposter, not wanting to disappoint. And I love what you said, because everybody's convinced every man is a narcissist. Did you actually say, Andre, that you have to put aside your selfish interest first and you actually have to show up for all of us first? Really?
Completely. That's the point. That's the duty. That's the mission. That's the accountability that I'm holding myself to. Right. So everything, when I got married, I thought, it was just a piece of paper. It's going to be just that. Who cares? Do you know what I mean? Change everything instantly that day. Right? Because it went from me and her for a couple of years, right? 2.5 years before we got married. It went from me and her, which is different energy, than us. And when us, I took that on because I'm the man. right? I took that on like an 80-pound brake backpack. Like it's the responsibilities. Now it's on me to carry the whole thing. So we had to upgrade her car because I didn't think she was safe in her car, the little car that she had at the time. She traveled a lot. No, we have to upgrade the car, upgrade the house, upgrade the lifestyle. I went to work even harder. Like it just like pushed me into being a better provider, provide, protect, give, support, lead more, because it's no longer just about me. Because I'm going to say this, ladies, us men, ask any man, right, cannot justify our own existence just for ourselves. Without something to live for, to build for, to push for, to compete for, as in a family, a business, having children, leave a legacy behind, the fact that I was on this planet and put a dent in it, be relevant, right, is what actually gets us up in the morning. If I'm living for myself only, I want the single guys to pay attention how that resonates, right? If you're single, have no responsibilities, live with 3 roommates, and your girlfriend's independent, so you can't really take care of her, watch how small you live. Little job, little shitty car, little responsibilities, a lot of waste of time as opposed to being productive. This part about you do the minimum and then you chill. Yep. I would not be this man without my wife, because I took on the responsibilities, and again the beast in me came out, and that's instinct. So we need a reason to get up in the morning and conquer, and that's how we feel capable. That's how we build self-esteem. That's how we build confidence. And this is when you look at us, the world, like, wow, look at him go, right? So the harder the mission is, the more respect we get. Self-respect and respect in the world. And there's my legacy.
No, and that's brilliant. And I think that it's really, let's emphasize for the women that you're not being unseen, and you're, and he's, and the way I deal with that, when sometimes I might be running that racket again, I'm not important, he's not hearing me. I really just turn that around and appreciate him. And give him just a whole bunch of love and respect, and go, baby, you got this. And I might be like, down the legs, right? Going, yeah, I hope we can pull this off, right? But it's just amazing, the how then I don't feel unseen, because then I feel like I'm a partner. I feel like we're interdependent, and I'm supporting my husband in this warrior beast mode that he's in, right? And I love when you talked about family. My husband said the minute he had, we don't have children together, but the minute he had his first daughter, his first child, he goes, I have never slept again. He goes, I have never ever slept a full nights again, right? Yep. Yep. And I just thought that was interesting, because I could just I could be nursing the baby and sleeping. I'm like, got to do what I got to do, right? But a man, he just stays on guard and alert all the time, and just how precious. And I'll just add one more thing real quick. I have a friend that 34 years of marriage, and her husband just passed. And one of the things that she said that was just so struck me was that she can't sleep well at night because he's not there. He's not.
There's no safety in it.
And she said, I would have. She goes, I didn't get that until he was gone.
Wow.
I didn't. She goes, I knew it, but I didn't get it. I didn't like the absence of him has made it so profound. And so ladies, you're not unseen. When your husband is, your husband is being strong, being competent, and looks like he's not being needy, affirm him, support him, love him. I promise you, he will just be like, at the end of the day, he'll be putting his head in your lap, Right. So it's just really, really precious. So I just think that getting out of that, when you're reaching and he retreats, don't reach harder, love harder, appreciate harder, right?
Yes. So honestly, and then the thing we talked about earlier, like the difficulty for men, right? It's not a difficulty, it's instinctual. It's actually not that hard. It's just we're going to put the feelings down. The feelings are irrelevant. It doesn't matter how I feel, I have to take care of my family. So you ladies are all about your feelings, right? You follow your feelings. We don't follow our feelings, we all die. So I have to follow my head, my logic, my plan. So we're heady all the time. You're hearty all the time. You want us to be here, but we can't survive if we're here. You've seen guys that are all the feminine, they're noodles. They don't do anything. Right? So men in their hearts, the way you want us the most, is impossible in order for all to survive. So I'm here all the time. I'm plotting, I'm planning, I'm pushing, I'm competing, I'm looking for new ideas and how da. And you're right. In that space, my wife could be standing right next to me and I'm not connected to her. I'm in my head. But this is what we need the feminine to pull us out of our heads into our body and to be present. Do you understand? Your feminine superpower is that. It's not weak, it's to bring us out of our heads. And when you bring them out of my head, you actually have to be connected and you're feminine. I'm present, I'm connected to you. I'm not thinking about anything, I'm just with you, right? I get to catch my breath a little bit, feel alive, feel something, because I can't feel when I'm in my head. Your presence kind of inspired me, but literally breathes life into my soul. And all you have to do is respect me. That means see all the work that I do and appreciate it. Thank you so much for working so hard, babe. That's all I need. That's all I need. Right? As opposed to you work too much. How come you don't come home? The kids miss you and you don't care. Like that, I hear this all the time. Right? Lifestyle again and duty. So often we feel disconnected, detached, cold, indifferent. No, we're surviving, we're pushing, we're competing, we're in our heads. So again, we need you to bring us down, especially at the end of the day, bring us down, right?
Like you went to the word superpower, and I just have to say, in our class, in the Queen Circle classes, we really emphasize vulnerability is our superpower.
It is.
Vulnerability is victory. And what's so interesting is that our heart's deepest, this is the door to our heart's deepest desire is where we stop performing, we stop protecting our hearts, we stop with all the walls, and we allow ourselves to be truly seen. And vulnerability does not mean emotional vomiting. Let's correct that, ladies.
That's not it.
And vulnerability is not weakness. It is courage. It takes a lot. And I get it coming from the streets, coming from an independent lifestyle, all that, to say to my husband, I need you, right? And I think we talked about this last time. I used to with my husband go, babe, I want you. I don't need you. You should be happy. I'm choosing you. I'm choosing to be, like I don't need you. And I never got the insult, like, no wonder he couldn't trust me. No wonder he couldn't be vulnerable with me. I mean, I'm like, babe, I got it, right? But once I really started saying, I cannot do life without you. And I could, technically, of course, we also, but I would never want to do life without you.
Right.
I would never want to be separated from you. I need you. And I want you. That's the fun part, right? There's the juice, right? So it's just that takes courage to show up honestly, imperfectly, and authentically. And that is when our connection occurs. And ladies, if you could just get this in the respect of my husband, in the respect of men, this just doesn't work with my husband either. It works with all men. Respecting them and appreciate them goes, it's unlimited.
That's the juice, you know what I mean? And often what I see a lot in my work is that the reason women say, well, I want respect too. I want appreciation too, but get this, appreciation on a man makes him feel respected. Appreciation on a woman makes her feel cherished. So you're right, we need both, right? And respect for man is a paradigm. If you don't love, if you could tell tell your man you love him all day long. If he doesn't feel respected by you, he can't feel that. Like he doesn't feel love. The same way if a guy says, I really respect you, honey, but doesn't really feel loved by him, you can't love him. Right? So we both need both, but they occur backwards. By the way, back to vulnerability, super point. Do you understand that the reason why vulnerability is essential, and it starts with the feminine? Yes. I'm going to say, we're not going to start it. Too dangerous. Concealing is my game, right? Are you trustworthy? Blah, blah, blah. So as a woman, when you get vulnerable, this is the only way, that we hook onto you emotionally. It takes you becoming vulnerable first. I hate to say, that's one of the duties, sorry, right, to hook onto us. Like, so your fears, babe, I'm really, really terrified about what's happening. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure we have planned. I'm sure you planned it out, you thought it through, but I'm not there, and I'm just really getting freaked out, right? Oh, my action has her uncomfortable and freaked out and nervous. I don't like you uncomfortable and nervous, and so they go, oh, well, what I'm doing, baby, is this. You know what I mean? And often when you get to be vulnerable, tell your fears, right? Or the things that really scare you. Again, it pulls the warrior, the hero in us forward to alleviate that, right? We're gonna fix that. So, right, but you have to tell me when you're right, because now you're not good. So I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna become your hero. I'm gonna provide the fixing, instinct, understanding man's world, right? And with that, with that, you get what you want.
Yes.
Right? You get the explanation, you get the connection, right? And he's like, look what I did. She's all better now. That's the yin yang. That's the freaking dance. And so we don't make each other wrong for our differences. We learn how to work them. Open up, be vulnerable, watch them show up. And often we'll be able to be vulnerable back with you. Because vulnerability means when people are vulnerable, we receive this as, wow, I guess they really trust me. Like, it's very flattering. So if you're vulnerable, to invite your man into your world of vulnerability and fear and scare, whatever, right? Oh, wow, right? Like, and often you'll get, I'm actually really nervous about, and this is how you connect. This is how we freaking connect. Anyways, did I just go off? So sorry.
No, it's actually, it's beautiful because, society has us defining vulnerability as you're going to get hurt. Like, really, that in a nutshell. And it's actually the exact opposite.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. And this goes back to other conversations, which we'll have later. Women choose wisely, men choose wisely, date properly, vet properly, and blah, blah. We'll cover that later. But it's, women, and I love how you brought up that women, why do we have to be vulnerable first? And in class, women are always like, why do I have to change?
Yeah, why do I have to do all the
work?
work?
Who cares who change if you're going to get what you want, right? And it's like, can you love with your whole heart even when there's no guarantees? Once again, it goes back to, and I have to mention this because it came up just recently. A woman asked, well, wonder if your boyfriend has potential, yada, yada. And I said, that's great. Potential's great. We all have a potential. But do you have 100% commitment before you're vulnerable? You know what I mean? There is that give and take. Why would you be vulnerable 100%, or why would you be investing in somebody's potential when there's no commitment? And it's just really a strong emphasis for, the sacredness of marriage, the sacredness of the covenantness. Like you said, that commitment, 100% commitment. You're gonna commit to potential based off of 25%. Please don't play the stock market because you're going to lose. How about that, right?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. And excuse me, what I see a lot is the ladies, when they meet a guy and they like him and he's whatever, ticks the boxes and stuff, right? But I have to say it, right? The more as a woman you're in your masculine, the more you're going to attract feminine men. So that's just nature. That's not my opinion. It's the yin yang of life. Everything's polarized. So when you're in masculine energy, you attract feminine men. Those are the boys. Those are the ones who don't want to take responsibility. They don't want to marry you. They don't want to have your children. They don't want to pay for you. They want you to make their lives comfortable, right? Move into your apartment, right? Encourage you to get that second, promotion while he's on the couch smoking a joint, spooning the dog, right? Like, that's what they, all right? So, but this is where I think, ladies, you have to really pay attention, because a guy will show a 90% loser, but he's sweet and he talks a lot and he's good in bed, right? And a 10% potential. He has so much potential. Like, maybe I just have to nurture him a little bit more. If I give him a little space, a little time, a little bit of money, he just need to really kind of get through it, right? So ladies hang on. I see this all the time. Ladies, stop it. Hanging on to the little potential that you see. There's a possibility of him being something else, and then you're going to mother him into that, which never works. So forget potential. Seriously, forget potential. Look at the whole picture, right? Because a man will show up to be responsible of duty, right? Provide everything you want, by the way, without manipulation. This is what men want to do. Boys don't. So stop with potential. Sorry.
But it's even, and I think that there's another aspect in this side of this conversation. It's like, married couples where the woman has just completely emasculated and castrated her husband, such that he's just kind of given up. He stays, he pays the bills, he provides. There's no respect for that. There's no appreciation for that.
Yep.
The woman is miserable. She's like going, well, I don't even know him anymore. He didn't used to be like this. There was no respect or love or appreciation for what he was bringing. Everything he did was wrong. Because
Oh,
here's the thing,
oof.
ego, ego, ego. They didn't do it the way the woman thought it should be done, or the woman thinks he should be doing it. And it's like, at what
This
point and relationships are so difficult because of this one thing, trusting the other, your spouse, that they're going to get it right the way they know best, not the way you know best.
right.
You know, my husband trusts me to make decisions, to run Queen Circle, to run Heal, you know, our natural health company. He's not micromanaging me all day. He's not sitting up there going, babe, babe, babe.
He's not questioning,
right, right, right. Whereas women are constantly like, and they're withholding compliments. You know,
Yeah.
they're like, well, I can't, if I've heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times. I cannot compliment my husband because if I do, then all the other stuff he's not doing right, he won't make, he won't make
Yeah.
up for that. I'm like, holy cow.
Exactly backwards. Exactly
Wow.
backwards.
Wow.
Right. Exactly backwards.
Yeah.
You know, the whole idea of, I'll respect him when he earns it, right? I'll be, I'll open up to him emotionally, when he helps me more, like that kind of like, it was
It's punishment. That's just
It's
punishment.
punishment, thinking that that's going to make him activate, right? So understand, none of that works on a man, right? Nagging, crying, digging your heels, yelling, demanding, commanding, all that stuff, right? Does not work. Ladies, just look for yourself. It's never worked. It's never going to work because you're dealing with a man, right? And a man, if you're going to make him wrong all the time, he's going to shut down, and then you're going to feel worse and feel more scared and feel more disconnected, as opposed to feeding the machine organically that works. Like, so appreciate him. Like, understand, his troubles that he was not going to bring home, by the way, most of the time, because he's not going to trouble you with the stuff that troubles his world, his life, right? He's not going to, I've had women say to me, like, I don't know what's going on with him. I could tell he's having difficulties. I could tell he's struggling, but I have no idea. I'm like, yes, he's trying to save you from that. He's not going to burden you with this life crap that he's managing, to pollute your world, right? To pollute your world. Like, we're not going to do this. So, right? So then there's a way for you to get to bring you back. Like, so babe, are you okay? Like, I could tell there's tension in you. Do you know what I mean? Is there anything I could do? That's feminine support.
Would you like a massage? Would you like me to rub?
Oh, well, anything I could do for you, babe.
Right. Right.
And often we come back with, I'm fine. And then you go, well, actually, if you I'm going to sit outside. If you could bring me a drink, that'd be awesome. Like, it's not that hard.
No.
Right? But
Well,
to wait
and
to
it's
appreciate, yeah, go ahead.
But if we don't do that, going back to what we were saying, is that exactly. And then, they hit premenopause and then we're really cray-cray. Woo, Lord have mercy. And we're like, oh my God, 80% of us are filing for divorces during that range because, and the complaint is not he's cheating, not he's not doing his job. The number one complaint is, I don't know who he is. Ooh.
We grew apart.
We're not connected. We grew apart. All
Yeah.
these lame excuses, we're going back to the solution, vulnerability, which takes courage, which takes compassion.
My favorite line.
Connected.
Yes, my favorite line. It takes a very, very strong woman to allow herself to be vulnerable.
Yes.
So vulnerability is a sign of strength, ladies, not weakness.
Right.
And again, it's what's going to give you the connection that you're looking for. You're looking for in him.
Mhm.
The more vulnerable, the more he's going to be present.
And with courage, you still can't. A lot of women hear, "Oh, be a doormat," and that's. And I know, Andre, no man wants a doormat. No real man wants a doormat.
No.
You can still tell the truth of who you are. Hey, that hurt me. Can I share that? Is this a good time?
Right.
Hey, I feel scared. Just this week I went through that with my husband, who just held my hand during our whole incident. And it was like, wow, babe, I'm just scared, and I could just lean on his shoulder, but it was so interesting, Andre, I could just feel that old woman, the old one going, he'd be like, babe, you okay? And it's still there, that first reaction. Stop talking, man. You don't understand. I don't want, and it's like, wow, what is that training, that mind conditioning, social media garbage that keeps showing up?
Yeah.
And I'm like, babe, I'm just scared, and I would he would hold my hand, he would scratch my back. Yeah. Wow, and I wasn't emotional. I was just sharing authentically with courage, And it
What are you
does,
going through? What are you going through?
and usually it's two sentences. It doesn't need to be a paragraph. It doesn't need to be a dissertation, you know. And so being that compassionate with yourself, you know, so when I do that, I'm being compassionate with me, which shows up as appreciation and respect for him.
Right. And again, to be vulnerable like this, he feels honored that you're able to be vulnerable. Now he
Oh,
could do now he can do something about it. Right. Now is that the hero is going to kick in to make you better, whichever way that looks like.
yes.
Right. So I call that, in my world, I call that having each other's back.
Yep.
Couples that go 30 plus 5 years, right? This is what they do. They have each other's back primarily. They don't want to win. Like, you need to act this way. You better try to make the other one act right. It's not about like, you need that, right? On both sides. Because ultimately, it'd be easier if men acted like women. I get it, but it's never going to happen, right? And it'd be easier if women were more like men. Never going to happen. So we have to embrace our differences. And that couples to succeed have each other's back. So when there's a problem, instead of trying to attack or make the other one act right, if it gets heated, take our corners. Okay, so we got to just like relax here because it's going to get elevated. It's going to get us nowhere good. Right, let's take time out, right? An hour, a day, whatever it takes. Right? I say, get yourself back to neutral. Come back together like adults, for Christ's sake. It's not that hard. And you go, like, so babes, like, what happened? How did we get there? Why'd you get so mad? Well, my dad used to, well, when you said that, it made me feel like this, and I don't know if that's what you meant, but it really took it this way. And then, again, having each other's back is wanting the other one to win, right? And that's it. That's what couples who succeed, are differences that are so confusing do. They take a pause, and they check in like adults.
I love it. There's a quote here: vulnerability doesn't make you weak. For men, it makes them trustworthy. And then a result, vulnerability for women is not testing him, it's revealing yourself. And like Andre said, when we reveal ourselves, then he gets to show up as a hero, attach, be trustworthy, be trustable. And then, you know, that is the deepest fulfillment, is being loving fully so that I can be loved fully in return. And that really is created. That's why I say vulnerability is victory. I'm like, amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Sister, seriously, preach.
And it's just beautiful, you know. It's just, you know, and the other thing I'd like to add into this conversation is I've heard so often, and just recently I went click. Women say all the time, I don't know if men do, but women say, oh, I'll forgive him, but I won't forget.
Mm.
Woo!
Well, and again,
I don't even know, like, how is that forgiveness? How is that grace? How is that anything?
Right. Well, to come to your rescue, that's the cave woman default system. Like, you have to keep track of every petty file, even when we talked about it and resolved it. It gets stocked in just in case. It's a survival mechanism. Like, just keep it all in track, right? So for us, it's completely opposite. Like, if we have a problem, we come together, we collide, we fix it, it instantly gets deleted. Boop. So for us, when it's so, that's why we get so mad when you, like, in the middle of argument, you say, well, 3 years ago, you're like, what the hell, right? Because you don't forget that. Again, it's survival instinct. You have a file for that. We don't. We have no filing cabinet for petty, you know, petty stuff or petty injuries from the past. And again, so it's, again, yin yang, right? We're two different beasts, right? Understand more the other side, so you could, you know, get into dance. I call it dance. It's all a dance. It's a yin yang. It's back and forth. There's, you know, it's masculine and feminine, you know, and complementing each other, because that's really what we're built. We're built to complement each other, not compete, not fight, not trying to make the other one act right or like us. It'd be easier, I get it, but that's not nature. That's not how it's built. Nothing in nature is the same. Everything is opposite. Masculine and feminine, black, white, up, down, magnet, you know, positive, negative magnet. Everything that actually flourishes, continues, grows, and expands is magnetized. It's polarized. So are men and women. So we don't neutralize that. We kill the relationship. We kill the dynamic. We kill the sensual sexual energy. Ooh, there's one.
Well, oh yeah, I'm glad I mean, I find that, you know, in those moments of vulnerability and in that moments, you know, people ask Kevin and I all the time, what's your super glue? You know, and we've had a great life, lots of travel, lots of adventure. And they assume that that's what we're going to say. And it's really when we were vulnerable during the tough times, and that forgiveness and grace just enveloped us. And I think that gosh, this is just kind of coming to me. In that vulnerability, the survival instinct actually changed from, fight, flight to
Yep.
embrace, to grace, to
Connection.
forgiveness, because the I don't know, the desire to be one with my husband, the desire to create, the Bible's very clear, cleave to your woman and become one. God, we become
Oof.
two people, become one person. And that requires vulnerability, forgiveness, grace, and a lot of forgetfulness, right?
Yep.
And it just, I think that in there is that miracle, and that takes a lot of responsibility for your action and your mouth, women,
Oh,
your mouth, and understanding the value as a woman in your femininity, your worthiness. And I think that at the end of the day, that creates that spiritual alignment of oneness. You were talking about this earlier, Andre. The whole goal is the oneness, to come together and be one. What did you say? That we're both winning, get each other's back. It's a
yes.
win-win, right? And
Absolutely.
so I, I,
Yep.
I just think that that is just one of the secrets to life, to be honest.
Well, I think it's absolutely, again, for what I see all the time, again, in these present days, is that instead of embracing our differences, we try to fix them, right? That becomes the battle, that becomes the fight. Doesn't work, right? And so, I just lost what I was going to say. I hate when I do this. I saw a picture in my head. I saw the picture in my head. It took me sideways. We're talking about, good Lord.
Well, I think it was
Okay.
the oneness that got you. I know what you were thinking about, Andre. The oneness. I know you love your wife.
Well, no, and it's so it's okay. I got it. Never mind. Thank you. So what I see a lot is the concept of darn it, I lost it again. Are you kidding me? Am I all right? Let me get some water. The oneness we talked about. Mm.
It is the oneness, the cleaving.
Um, why do I get stuck on trying to make the other wrong? There's another way here that's more inspirational, that makes more sense.
Hmm.
Though we understand making each other wrong,
Hmm.
and trying to make them act right. So there you go. So instead of thinking we should be the same, it's embracing our differences in the polarity. I say this all the time. I says we're as equal as our genitals.
Oh, wow.
Right. Seriously, completely opposite, but look, made to fit beautifully.
That's right.
My strength and her strength are different, made to fit perfectly. But we don't fight our differences, we embrace them,
Mhm.
right? So everything about us is made to do this, right? But we kind of try to always kind of, right? And that's really the battle that doesn't help you at all. This is complementary. This is her part, my part together. We have each other's back. We're going to create a beautiful family, a beautiful life, and leave behind a beautiful legacy, our children.
Mhm.
That's the magic, and that's what actually makes people the happiest. Not your money, not your career, not they don't because I'm in Los Angeles, right? A lot of people here with a lot of money, and some very successful people who can't get their love dynamic right, their relationship right, their marriage right, feel like failures. And I get it. It's the number one indicator of somebody's happiness. Men and women, the quality of your relationship, the love connection that flows makes a beautiful life. The opposite makes you feel like a loser somehow. There's something wrong with you, and there's a part missing. There's a piece missing. It's factual. We're made to be pair bonded, balancing, equalizing, bringing a different dimension to each other. That's the magic. Masculine and feminine dancing. Whew, I could do this all day long.
Yes. Well, the dancing. And I love, that whole union, and we really get what we want when we are that vulnerable and we're able to come together as one, and we're able to I lay my head on my husband's chest after, being one together and making love to each other. And it just, it's so funny. 24 years ago, just to be frank and honest, we were just banging it out and thought we were just, yeah,
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
and I mean, we wouldn't trade 24 years ago for today to save our lives. The beauty, the magic, the wholeness, the spiritualness, the godliness, wow, 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 wow.
Sure.
There's no other decade in time that even compares. And I think that, if women could just let down their guards, be vulnerable after choosing wisely, and, you know, really just lean into their husbands, lean into their partners, support them, adore them, appreciate them, and respect them, they'll end up having everything that they ever wanted.
Absolutely. It's a different life. It's a different life completely when you actually get it, how it works. You know, I call it like, you know your lane. You can't be in both lanes. That won't work. That's what's happening a lot in the culture, right? There's a love lane and there's a money lane. Typically, you'll take the money responsibility lane. She takes the love lane. We work it together with all the differences, right? Back and forth. Some things that we negotiate with me and my wife, right? She's good with the books. Like naturally, she's kind of detail oriented, right? So she's, okay, you take that on then. Is it more masculine? Maybe, but like she's good at it, right?
Right.
On the other side, I'm French. I cook. Is that more feminine? Well, yeah, but I mean, but see what I mean? We kind of have all these things that we have to like agree on in order to flow, to keep the connection, in order to keep the family in order and this household, peaceful and harmonious. That's not that hard.
No.
But again, stop trying to change the other. Stop trying to embrace our differences. They're incredibly dramatically different, right? So instead of like make the other one wrong, embrace, negotiate, talk about it. When you do this, makes you feel like this, I don't like it. What? Right? And a man who loves you will change. A man who loves you will adjust. Right? And a woman too. Oh, sister, we could do this all day long.
Well, I think that this is just a really great spot. I think we're leaving everybody with a lot of great things to think about. I think that, we're both available for everybody to reach out to, women, men, and help others discover and create those loving, long-term, fulfilling relationships that work for both parties. And I just love that phrase, happy house, or happy spouse, happy house.
Happy house. That's beautiful. I'm stealing it. Is there anything you want to announce before we sign off?
No. Join us in 2 more weeks. We're work on that restreaming those live questions.
We'll work it out.
Broadcast.
So for me, I'd like to announce that I'm doing a TED Talk in Stamford, Connecticut, April 14th. So it's a Tuesday night. So anybody is in Connecticut area, New York area, so an hour from New York, and you want to come to my TED Talk, there's 6 speakers. I'm bringing my wife, and we're doing the relationship dance. So we actually, me and her, with my speech, will show the Argentine tango, which is the perfect metaphors between the yin yang and the give and take, and the lead and release the lead, and she takes the lead, she gives it back to me. Like it's the actual model of healthy relationships. So if you're curious, come and join us, and then we'll leave all the links below to find us, like your website, my website, how you could come and ask us questions, like dig in, come and tell us what you want to hear about in 2 weeks. Give us some context, even though we have some good juicy stuff prepared already. But if we're going to cater this to you guys, bring it, please. That said, darling, I think I'm going to say we're done.
Yes.
Take care of yourself. Be well, and we'll figure out the streaming stuff by next time. I promise.
We will. All right, everybody. We love you. Ciao. Have a great day.
Bye.